Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Connected. It's episode 564, and today's show is brought to you by Squarespace and ZocDoc. My name is Myke Hurley, and I have the pleasure of introducing Stephen Hackett. Hi, Stephen.
Hello, Myke Hurley. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm happy because we have a special guest.
We do. I am so pleased to announce our special guest, Jason Snell.
Hello, I am Jason Snell, the Upgrade Draft Challenger, and it's great to be here.
Don't you forget it. You know, I was thinking about this. It's been a long time for you to be a challenger.
Yeah, you're really beating me down now.
That's how it goes.
Well, what happens is you get to the point where Myke really wants to win and takes it super seriously, and I'm just coasting because I've won so many times that I'm just like, oh, I'll just do picks for the humor of it. But then like he gets on a streak, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to be serious now. And I can't get it back. It's very frustrating. But
my favorite, one of my favorite drafts was when you said, "Okay, I'm going to get serious about it now," and I still beat you. That was a good one for me.
Yeah, no,
that was
once
a good one for me.
You've got the momentum now. You've got Big Mo.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm going to get you off your game.
Big Mo.
I did win the auxiliary draft where we drafted extra things, which is really stupid of me because if that had just been part of the main draft, I would have won. But
Which
I didn't.
One?
The California Bear Trophy for WWDC.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
y'all, we don't have time for this.
This is Upgrade. Oh, sorry.
We have a Snell Talk question.
Oh, okay.
David wrote in, why didn't any of you go with personalized sites? Why use brand names like 512 Pixels, The Enthusiast, Mac Stories, 6 Colors, etc.?
Did you know that when I announced that I was leaving Macworld, that announcement was posted on snellworld.com?
I remember. And I
yeah, and you made the right choice by not continuing that.
Well, I didn't want to announce my thing yet, right? Like literally, I didn't want to say, hey, everybody just got laid off and here's my new site. So I had to find a place to put it. And so, but
it was essentially just a text file, right? That was.
Oh, it's still here. It's still here. Yes. Look at this.
Oh yeah, snellworld.com. It's still there.
You're still paying for that.
Now it's an about, but the blog post is on 6 Colors now, and it's linked from that single site of snellworld.com. But yeah, I'm still paying for that along the many domains. I imagine we're all going to say the same thing or variations on the same thing, which is like it's not my personal site. It's the place where I do like the Incomparable is where I do some stuff, and 6 Colors is where I do different stuff. And then 6 Colors was kind of always my intent to have it be more than just me too. You know, there's that aspect of it as well, that it's not Jason's Mac site, because I figured at first I thought it would be a place where maybe some of my laid off colleagues could write a little bit, and some of them did. And then over time, you know, Dan came on board, and so it was really me and Dan for many, many years. And now I've also got, you know, Glenn once a week and Moltz once a week and Joe Steele and Shelley Brisbane every month. So, you know, it would be bad if I briefly did some freelancing for the Windows super site, but remember
that was
originally who was it? Whose site was that?
Was it Paul Thurrott?
Paul Thurrott, right? And that company bought that site, and then they had to spend so much effort, I think maybe unsuccessfully, Paul Thurrotting it. And like, don't do that. Like, brands are cheap. I mean, I paid a few $1,000s for 6colors.com, and I'm happy I did. Because I don't know, it's just because it's not all of you, it's just some of you. Like that's what Gruber does during Fireball. It's almost his entire output, but like, it's not johngruber.com. It's Daring Fireball. It's a product with a portion of what you are, not your whole person, I think.
Yeah, that was how I felt when I started The Enthusiast. I'm the most recent to do it, and it was just because I wanted this website to have a very specific point of view, which is just good vibes. That's what I was going for, and I don't give off just good vibes in all of my avenues, and that was the point, right? Like, if I'm angry about something, you're not going to see it on the website. I'll talk about it on a podcast, and that was kind of the point for me. Like, I'm my whole self here more than I will be on that website. And it's just because that's what, if I'm going to write, I want to write happy. I don't want to write angry. And because otherwise I'm just not going to do it. And so, I'm happy with that decision for me.
I still own, but way back in the day, like in college, had a blog at like StephenHackett.com. And please don't Wayback Machine it because I'm sure it's terrible.
You
But
should never say these things out loud.
I'm quietly Waybacking it as I type. And it was, a personal kind of thing. But when I wanted to start writing about Apple, I was like, it needs its own brand. It definitely really wasn't super well thought out, but hence the name change a few years in. But I wanted something that kind of stood on its own. I never really thought other people would write there, although other people have written there over the years. It's primarily me. But
Sorry, I didn't mention that Stephen also wrote for Six Colors for a while there before he turned his back on me and walked away.
Wow.
To do Mac Power users.
I wrote I turned my back on a lot of things when I joined MPU.
I know you did. I know, but the Hackett file, it's all there. It's all available on the web now. It was a newsletter only exclusive, and now it's all on the web for.
Is that what it was called? The Hackett file? I forgot that.
The Hackett file. Yeah,
it's like the Hackett dossier.
Yeah.
I like it.
It just needed a brand name, right? And and now it's been that name so long, it just is what it is, right? Like the names stop mattering after a while.
Yeah, funny. I mean, Mac Stories, right?
Yeah.
It's just a name.
It's just a name. It's just a name.
What's in a name?
What's in
letters?
And yeah, that's true.
Would a website by any other name smell as sweet?
Yeah.
You know?
Would Snell as sweet?
Yeah, it would Snell as sweet.
Snell.zone as sweet.
I have already added 2 links accidentally to the most recent episode of Upgrade instead of adding them to connect it via the book not clip. And it reminded me of something I was thinking about today, which was like anytime I'm on a podcast with Jason, there becomes an issue where I forget what podcast I'm on, and I just start talking to Jason. And I was on an episode of The Incomparable a long time. I think my first time, it was maybe for Avengers Endgame or something like that. And like for the first 10 minutes of the show, it's basically just me and Jason talking because I just forgot that anyone else is there. And I was just like, I'm just talking to Jason. And then I didn't speak for like 20 minutes. As I realized I was absolutely monopolizing the conversation.
That's
terrible.
That's fantastic.
Terrible stuff.
So some follow-up. Last week's title was a little bit unusual. If you saw it was. I mean, not that weird. Not that weird. And we got a post in from listener Pete, and it was an audio clip, and we're going to let you listen to it now.
I think you asked for the podcast connected. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, playing ooh ooh hoo wow ooh hoo ooh hoo ooh hoo ooh.
I mean, Alexa just totally choked on the name of the episode.
Yes. And I hope that happened to other people. I hope that there were users using Workout Buddy who made a similar thing to them. If that happened to you, please let us know. Because I hear it, right? Apparently, like Workout Buddy will be like, all right, now taking you back to this or whatever, like, and it's some podcast title or whatever.
Yeah, it was fabulous. And because I didn't have a place for it other than follow-up, but I named this in our document, Shameless 512 Pixels Merch Plug.
Nice.
I got new merch. I got stickers with the new logo, 20th Anniversary Mac shirt, and then a iMac G4 shirt. Go check them out.
I'm going to give you a piece of follow-up that I was meant to text you, but I'm now just going to say it to you. I would like more colors at the premium heavyweight of the Big Idea t-shirt.
Okay, let me just log into Comp
So
Bureau and I'll
if
do that.
you can just find some colors. That's like big, like they're oversized shirt. You have black, which looks really good, but I would like to see some other colors before I buy one because I really like that t-shirt.
I had noticed you had not put an order in. I looked.
Yeah, and that's why because you didn't have the colors that I was looking for.
Can I make a merch request too, Steven?
Yeah.
I wore the 512 Pixels IMAX from above t-shirt over the weekend. And a regular human saw it and was like, what are those? Some sort of fruit? I'm like, no, they're computers.
Oh, that's a connected shirt. The gumdrops?
That's a connected t-shirt.
Oh, is that a connected t-shirt? Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
With all those 6 colors. So, okay. Well, then I bring it to both of you. I would either like to see a version of that is in where the 6 colors are, I know this is non-canonical, in the Apple rainbow colors, or we should do a collab and have a 6 colors version of that.
We should.
So let's talk about that later.
The original version of that shirt had a yellow iMac on it, and I always hated it because
He was so unhappy about it.
there was not a yellow iMac.
We sold that T-shirt, and then when it came back to Stephen doing the bootleg store that he set up while I was on paternity leave, he changed the colors, and then also removed the cartoon characters of the three of us that were there.
Mike, I'm not sure there's any more color options for the heavy.
That's ridiculous.
We can look at this
That's
later.
all I have to say. Yep, that's ridiculous. There must be. It must be possible. I think sometimes it's the colors you choose. Some of them add those options, and it's kind of unclear as to which colors it's going to be. But this is not a conversation we have to have.
I mean, I think it's pretty good podcast content.
Okay, good. Then we'll keep doing it. All right, so let me log into your Cotton Bureau store.
I'll just send you the login. I don't care.
I'll just dig around.
Just say it out loud on the podcast.
Yeah.
If we're going to do this, you should just speak the login.
The password.
Let everybody try it.
Yeah, we crowdsource this. Let's crowdsource this.
Let's
see if anyone can work it out.
Yeah. Okay, Jason is here.
Hi.
And I want to talk to you about Apple results, not the news. That's all been covered.
Money.
Who has all the
money?
It's Microsoft Crocs.
Yeah.
That's a pro show topic for you.
Yeah.
You guys do a great job both on Upgrade and on 6 Colors covering these things. And it sort of struck me this time listening to Upgrade that, Jason, if you didn't cover the quarterly results, I would pay no attention to them because I don't cover them anymore. And really, you're the only
last
person
one left.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you're kind of the only person.
Now.
You're the only person in our circle that really covers this, right? It's covered in the financial markets or whatever, but like, who cares?
I mean, it's me, and then not quite in our circle, but Ben Thompson, and,
Sure.
and even he skipped.
Ben's
a few.
doing it. Ben's doing it in a different way. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people post what Apple posts, but Jason's doing the whole I'm transcribing this, and then I'm gonna write some analysis, right? Like that. That's what you do, which is different, which I value because then it makes our conversation easier. But
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's off brand for me. I'm literally the kid who used to get the newspaper and throw the business section away. It's like, who are those suckers who are writing about that stuff? And then fast forward 35 years, and it's like, oh no, it's him. I mean, part of the reason I do it is that I started doing it at Macworld because we had to do it, and I thought that we should do it, and then I thought we should do charts, and people are like, what do you mean charts on the web about financial stuff? I was like, no, I think we should do this. I had an old boss who had a giant spreadsheet full of Apple financial results, and so it was a Macworld decision because Macworld covered everything. Literally everything was our remit. I still, as an independent person 11 years later, have these moments where I feel bad that I can't cover something, and then I realize, oh, one person can't cover everything. But when I went out on my own, I felt like it was a way for me. It was a thing that I had a sort of unique skill about and interest in to a certain extent. If I'm thinking about understanding Apple's business, I'm not interested in investment analysis. Don't own Apple stock. There are websites out there that are sort of targeted at Apple investors. That was not my area of interest, but I had this skill that I had built up. And I figured, especially in the early days when I was trying to establish 6 Colors, that it was a way for me to continue. It was a useful skill, right? And then for a while there, I sold Macworld on the idea that my post-call analysis column would be my column for the week, which, especially when I was writing weekly, was great because let me tell you, coming up with 52 column ideas a year was not good.
Yeah.
So I get a freebie every 3 months. It was great. But, lately they don't want those columns anymore. They don't do it for them. It's like, that's fine. I'll just post it to 6 Colors. But I feel like I've done it long enough now, and I have enough of the long view of Apple's business. And I feel like it fits into my brand, my knowledge space to be able, when we're talking about, especially on Upgrade is a great example of this, to understand how Apple's business is constructed. Like, I don't care about like where the stock price is going, but I do want to understand, like, why do they do what they do? What are their motivations for it? And so, the transcript, if there weren't automated transcription engines, I would have stopped doing that. But it's become very easy. I just literally listen to the call while I'm looking at the transcript, about 5 minutes behind, and edit it as I go. And it does double duty of being the transcript and me reading about it. And then for writing my follow-up piece, it's great to have a transcript, because you can Ben links to my piece now too, which is very nice of him. And like, it's useful for people to look at what they said and not have to go find it in the transcript. So, it really is this kind of holistic thing that it educates me about what they're doing. It gives me a chance to do some analysis that I think there isn't a lot of out there. It's not my favorite subject either, especially there are, so many quarters where Myke and I get on Upgrade and we're like, well, boring quarter that just made a lot of money. When I usually emerge from the office on results day, Lauren says to me, "How's Apple?" And I say, "Still in business, still making lots of money. Like, they're not going out of business anytime soon." But I don't know. I mean, so that's it. It was really sort of like a continuation of doing it at Macworld and feeling like it was uncommon enough that I could probably keep doing it and have it be an area of specialty, even though it's so unlike everything else that I cover.
Yeah. I mean, I like your point of view on it, that you want to understand Apple better, because I think all three of us and most people in our sort of orbit, like, we care about the products, right? Like, we're in this because we want to talk about the Mac and guess iPhone colors and talk about iOS 26, right? But so much of the products are informed by Apple as a company, and then vice versa. And I find the way that you talk about it interesting, and that just really caught me for whatever reason this time. It's like, oh, like, this is actually like educational, and I think you're doing a good service to the community by covering it through that lens in your way, as opposed to just like, a talking head on CNBC or whatever.
And I think from the Upgrade perspective, I actually do enjoy the conversations, right? So like, I push for us to talk about it, and I've always pushed for us to talk about it on the show, because I do enjoy talking about it. I think it's interesting to look at them through the business lens. I think it's interesting to look at how Apple positions themselves to the stock market, especially because, we talk about it all the time, but the services thing is purely for the stock market, right? So that is a huge thing that they did, that they decided to start doing because the iPhone was declining. The only reason they needed to do that, Apple did not need the money, right? They did it because they needed to make investors happy, so they had to start pushing into services. It's why we have Apple TV, right? Like, it's why it exists. It's why TV Plus exists, and so I do think there's an interesting thing there,
and it's why they hold on to the App Store the way that they do.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You can understand so much more about them because of that. So, and I know you've covered it other places. We'll have some links in the show notes, but you have a lot of now we're crossing over to Mac power users territory. I know you're using some automation to make these charts. Like, you're not like hand editing, I don't think, like putting charts in.
File new, drag out a spreadsheet and numbers, start entering numbers in, finish around
new ones in every time.
About 2 a.m., get it done. No, I continue to try to build an automation that I can take at the PDF of the results and put that on the clipboard so I can just paste it into my numbers spreadsheet. I use previous quarters and build a whole thing that works fine, and then the new quarter comes out and it breaks. That happened this time. It's like, oh, I guess I'm entering them in by hand. After all of that work, it just something in the PDF this time just totally broke. Oh well. I'll work on that for next time, I guess. Once it's in there, I wrote a piece about this at Six Colors that was on Allison Sheridan's podcast. She asked me about how I made the charts, and I had this admission that I spend the day before the results, like, editing every single chart and sliding it all one column forward, so that I could do the new time frame. And somebody wrote in and said, you could build a self-updating chart grid using various commands inside numbers, and I do that now. That totally changed it. So now my setup the day before is essentially finding the date of the last one and replacing it with the date of the new one. And then all I have to do after that is just put in the numbers, and then I run I have an automation that basically exports a PDF from numbers and carves it up into individual rectangles and uploads them all to my my server. And that was a automation I did a long time ago. I think I ran it for the first time on the iPad instead of on the Mac at Mike's bachelor party.
Whoa.
So I have a memory of like, I want to go to Mike's bachelor party and I don't want to bring my laptop with me, but there's Apple results. And I was like, I did it. It happened. I got it to work using shortcuts. But anyway, so yeah, it does this thing that exports a giant PDF, carves it up into little image slices based on their placement on the page that I know where the rows and columns are, and I just sort of loop through them. And then I upload them to WordPress using the same automation tools that I use to upload images I'm working on for a story to WordPress. And it puts all of the HTML for all those charts on the clipboard. So on the day, I write a little, I honestly, I clone the last quarter's thing and modify it a little bit and then paste in the charts. And that's step one. And then then it's prepping for the conference call and all of that. But I try to do that as step one.
I had a nerdy bachelor party. I think it was on my bachelor party. I don't completely remember that there was some kind of like anniversary.
Yes, it was the iMac's anniversary, and Jason and I were blogging across a little table in someone's hotel room together, and it was really fun.
Pair blogging.
I think we did an episode of a podcast. I think if we did, I was very unhappy about it. And didn't want to do it. If we didn't do it, the reason we didn't do it was because I was very unhappy about the idea of working.
Oh no, I had a whole setup in my hotel room.
That was it. I remember sitting in there and doing it. It was, I think, it was against my will.
Probably so.
Yeah.
I have some real-time follow-up. Stephen actually did share with me his Cotton Bureau login, and I have since added a ton of color options to the t-shirts, and now there are many. You don't have to keep all of these options, but there are a lot of really fun colors now.
The more, the more the merrier.
For just this one t-shirt, I didn't do it for the other ones. This is the only one I want. So if you want to do it, you have to go in and work it out.
Okay,
it's very doable.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
No problem. I'll buy this t-shirt now.
I've been hacked. So there's all that.
Yep.
Apple Watch usage. This was our other tiny topic today. Mike, what's going on?
All right, so I want to talk about our relationships to the Apple Watch. Now, the reason I am thinking about this is my daughter is way too interested in my Apple Watch. Way too interested. She grabs this thing, she's tapping on it, she's watching the photos go by. She nearly sent you two a text message the other day. There are messages that I don't know have come in because she's tapped the notification, right? But I'm holding her or whatever, I'm feeding her. And so I don't like that. I don't know what the screen time deal is going to be with my daughter. Like, I'm not going to be a no screen time like parent because that would be hypocritical, right? Because like I'm going to be using my screens, but like I just don't know what it's going to be yet. But what I know is she's not even 6 months old. Like I don't need her interacting with my Apple Watch. Plus, it's annoying for me because things keep happening. She's already sent multiple text messages to people, and I don't need her doing that. So I was wondering, I was thinking about the Apple Watch. I've just been thinking about it. Like, if I was to stop wearing it, what would it be like? What would I miss? And what would that experience be? And so I've distilled it a little bit, and I want to hear what you two think. So I think, for me, it's three things, the Apple Watch, right? It's fitness, it's notifications, and it's the Photos watch face, which I love. So I could start with the Photos watch face. I love this because it's fun for wearing an Apple Watch. I don't need to wear an Apple Watch to get this because my phone is full of widgets that have photos on them, right? Different widgets.
Yeah.
But I use a selection of widgets by a great app called Widgetsmith that I recommend people go and check out, and they can have their own wonderful photo widgets.
That's developed by _ David Widgetsmith, right?
That is his
That's-
full name.
that's
Well,
true.
wouldn't it be? Yes, that would be David Widget Smith. That would be the name based on the upgrade convention,
Mhm.
which is first name and then second name is the name of your app. That works for him actually in a way that doesn't for say like. Oh wait, wouldn't it be Widget Smith Dave? That's how it would work, right?
No, David Widget Smith. It's
Because
first
don't-
name and then
Yes,
name of
his
product.
first name.
afterwards.
Yes,
Joe
yes.
Timer.
Yeah, he's the
Joe
he's the
Timer,
one who
yeah.
it actually works with.
Yeah, the only one. He's smart. So I have like a bunch of their. So then, so notifications is one, and it's not that I particularly want notifications on my wrist. I just don't necessarily want them on my phone because my phone will be buzzing a lot, right? Which is more disruptive for me and people around me. Your phone on the table, the phone's making a bunch of noise because it's like buzz, 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 that kind of stuff. Because I don't have a case, so if the phone is in contact with the desk, it makes noise. Then the other one is fitness. Now, for me though, at this point, I'm not sure that my Apple Watch encourages me to be fit. It is just a history of my fitness. Does that make sense? Like I'm not like when it's like just go out for a 3-minute walk and you'll close your ring. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that though, so I'm not going to do that. You know, like those things have never been like, oh, and now I'm going to go do a thing. Like
But
I'm
if
not
you
that
did,
interested in it.
A great way to track that walk would be Pedometer Plus Plus by
Yes.
David Pedometer Plus
Pedometer
Plus.
plus. This is his full name, legal name. Well, I do my step count and it's a different thing. You know what I mean? And my phone does that. Like I don't need my Apple Watch for that. And I guess if I didn't wear my Apple Watch, there's like a move thing, right? It will track. Still gives you a move ring, which is fine.
When it's in your pocket.
When it's in your pocket. So yeah, this is where I'm thinking. I don't know where I am on this. What I am, I want to hear what you guys have to say, and then I'll kind of give my little conclusion for now. So, kind of, what if I say this kind of thing, like, what does it make you feel? What is your relationship to the Apple Watch right now? Like, what do you think?
I mean, I always wore a watch, so it's a watch.
Mm-hmm.
I use it for fitness, but like you, I kind of don't care. But like when I'm running and running intervals and running time, it's really useful to say I'm going to run for 10 minutes or run for 20 minutes and have that on my watch. That's nice to have. And when I'm doing couch to 5K or any other kind of interval training, I can actually do where it's, it'll chime or talk to me or whatever and say, start running, stop running. And I find that really useful. And as you guys know, I try very hard when I'm walking the dog or going for a run or whatever to not bring my iPhone because I don't like it wiggling around in my pocket. And so I just use my watch and my AirPods. So I would miss all of that, right, if I stopped using it because I use it for all of those things. I could put it on to do fitness. The other thing is I use it, again, I could use my phone for these things, but like I use it, all my Apple Pay is on my watch.
I never use my watch for Apple Pay.
I don't use my phone for Apple Pay at all. I only use my watch ever since day one when I bought peanut butter at Whole Foods, like Apple Watch all the way. And the moment I got my Apple Watch anyway. And then I have a home key door lock on my front door. And it's the same thing. I really prefer just tapping it with my watch to getting my phone out of my pocket and holding it up to the door in order to unlock the front door. So I wouldn't call it essential, but I feel like my life would definitely not be as nice if I took the Apple Watch out of it.
I would say that you are definitely more embedded in the Apple Watch than me. Like for those reasons, I feel like if I did those three things, it wouldn't even be a question for me of like, would I wear the Apple Watch or not? Like if I'm unlocking my door with it, I know you could have other ways, but if I was using Apple Pay, like it would just be like ingrained. Yeah, I use my phone for Apple Pay. I don't know why. Like I know I have used my watch. I think I don't like sometimes it's like awkward. You just like putting your wrist up there, or like I don't like the way you have to do it on the tube. You have to kind of reach across yourself because all of the readers are on the right hand side, and so. Yeah.
All right, that's fair. Although, do you have to Face ID?
No, Express Transit. So
Express Transit you don't, but to pay you have to double tap the side of the thing and then Face ID and then tap to pay, right?
Correct.
And all I have to do, like literally, I just did this weekend when we were on our trip, and I needed to buy something. I don't even know what, transit tickets or something. And like literally, I'm wearing a hoodie, long sleeve. I reach under my hoodie and go tap tap on my watch, and then just beep, and we're done. I don't have to look at it. I don't have to do anything.
That is nice.
I don't even have to expose it because it goes through the hoodie, and it's just, and then I'm done.
That is nice. If I ever thought about the fact that I was using Face ID, then maybe it would annoy me. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't even think about it. It's not like a thing that I realize because it's so easy to do Face ID, right? Like essentially all I just have to do is just double tap it and my phone just has to be in proximity of my face, which is not that difficult. I have a big head. Stephen, what about you?
I mean, right now I'm mega watch because we're working on iOS 26, watchOS 26 stuff, and I actually have 2 watches on sometimes.
Whoa, you're one of those guys.
Yeah,
I love it.
running
I
different
love
builds,
this for me to know this
you
about
know.
you. I love this.
It's something.
It's the underscore lifestyle. You'll be there soon, Mike.
No, I don't test. I don't need to worry about that.
Doesn't matter.
I
It's
ain't
company
testing.
policy. Sorry, company
I ain't
policy.
testing.
2 watches.
Oh, no.
But you can attach more than to a croc, apparently.
Oh,
Great.
I'll do that.
Left watch, right watch,
But
day
I
watch,
can
night watch.
I can tell you now I'm going to take a break from the Apple Watch after these releases are done. Like I have these phases, and I haven't worn my Apple Watch on Sundays for a while. That's nice. It's nice to have a break from it. And you know, I don't have the issue of like a little kid tapping it, although we had that with one of our kids. I forget which one. That's a very
It had to
real
have been
thing.
Jude.
Yes, it would have had to been Jude.
It had to have been Jude.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, it was my youngest.
Yeah.
So yeah, the others, I guess we're too old for that. But you know, I really want Apple to make a fitness band that doesn't have a
Yeah, so
screen.
they're
I
never
could
gonna
wear
do
on my other wrist, but they're not going to do it. Or even and I'm not a ring person. Like my wedding band is tattooed on. I don't wear any rings. I would consider a ring if it did all the fitness stuff the Apple Watch does. But
Yeah, me too. So, 2 things on this. It's one, unfortunately, we're going to get the email. We were talking about this in the pro show about trying to stop ourselves from getting email, but it's going to happen anyway. I know you can use cinema mode, right, which turns off the screen. I do not want to wear an Apple Watch if the screen is off. What's the point?
Right.
yeah.
Right? Like, what is the point of it? The other thing to note. So here's where I'm getting to this is I think today I'm going to take my Apple Watch off and I'm going to see where I am in a week. Right? So I'm going to not wear my Apple Watch for a week and I'll report back next week on the show as to what that experience is like. The other thing to note is I do have a small watch collection that I miss greatly, right? From when there was a long time where I didn't wear an Apple Watch, like maybe years, and I miss my watches. And like they're like nice watches. I have a couple that are on that were expensive for me, and a bunch that aren't. And the thing is, if I ever wear a mechanical watch now, I always go for the things that are like the top end of my collection. But I have lots of watches that I enjoy. I used to change them up every couple of days, put on a different watch. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to wear a bunch of watches from my collection over the next week to see what that experience is like. And then I'll talk about it on the show next week.
This episode of Connected is made possible by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform designed to help you stand out and succeed online. So whether you're just starting out or scaling your business, Squarespace gives you everything you need to claim a domain name, showcase your offerings with a professional website, grow your brand, and get paid all in one place. I've built tons of sites on Squarespace for friends and clients and projects over the years, and it is always my first choice because everything is designed to work together. That means that I can start with a pretty simple site. Maybe someone doesn't need a blog or a podcast on day one, or maybe they have plans to add a store, but it's not quite ready. Well, it's really easy with Squarespace to add things as you go. And if you're not a designer, Squarespace's Blueprint AI is here to help. It uses this really cool AI-enhanced website builder, lets you quickly and easily build a site bespoke to you. Just input some basic information about your industry and your goals, and it works with Squarespace's professionally designed and award-winning website templates, so you have beautiful design options with no experience required. And if you're like me, you don't have a lot of experience with SEO either, well, that's fine. You don't want to build a website and no one see it. So Squarespace, every single website is optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions, an auto-generated sitemap, and more. So more people find your site through search engine results. So if you have a new project to build or an old one that needs rebuilding, go to squarespace.com/connected for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the code CONNECTED to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain name. That's squarespace.com/connected and the offer code CONNECTED to get 10% off your first purchase. Our thanks to Squarespace for their support of the show and all of Relay. There's a new beta.
Woo.
iOS 26 beta 5?
Yeah.
5?
Developer beta 5.
Developer beta 5. I don't think there's been a new public beta yet.
No.
Usually it's every other one. So there are a few changes, mostly changes that Myke asked for. So Myke, do you want to take a victory lap?
I feel so great about this. Like, I installed the beta. Got very upset about two things specifically, and they've both been changed. So one, the select buttons returned in mail. Excellent. Just fantastic. Thank you for doing this. I'm so happy. The other one is they have added. No, they've done what I want, but not the way that I want it. I still think it's wrong. So the camera video switching thing where you can switch between the modes in the camera app. I maintain that the selector goes in the wrong direction, that it's working more like the text selecting loop than a dial, which it is obviously a dial. It's a camera. It's meant to be a dial, but they're doing it in the wrong way. So if you move right, if you move your finger right, the selector goes right where it should go left, right? Which is how everything else scrolling wise works.
Right. You're moving the selector. The metaphor is you're moving the selector instead of the dial.
Exactly. Well, there is a setting called mode switching, and you can turn on a setting called classic mode switching, which is hilarious because there was no mode switching before. So actually, technically, classic mode switching should be what they shipped in 26, and this would be, I don't know, reversed. But you can reverse the scroll of the direction, and it immediately makes way more sense to me because it works the way it should, the way that basically all iOS scrolling works. Which is what is known as natural rather than reversed, like with trackpads. So I feel fantastic. Beta 5 is the best beta of all betas. They've given me the two things that I care about the most. They did it. So thank you to everybody at Apple for paying attention to what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm. No, it's great. The select button in mail is just a nutty choice to get rid of.
Unbelievable. Truly unbelievable. And I'm happy that they saw the error of their ways on that one, because that was going to be a problem. Like, that was absolutely going to be a problem. You know, people are talking about, like, liquid glass. People are going to hate it. Da, 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 da. I just want to say, I don't think people are going to hate liquid glass. I think they're going to like it. I think the problem's going to be the camera thing. Like, the more I've used iOS 26... I think people are going to react to the camera mode changing the way they reacted to the Photos redesign. Because it is absolutely not obvious where anything is. It's hard to find.
And when you try to find it, it goes in the wrong direction.
And when you try to find it, it's broken.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that is actually going to be the most contentious thing. Like, I don't think iOS 26 is going to be that contentious. Like, that this is where I'm coming down on. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but I think little things like that will be more of the problem, like the way that you actually use the device. I don't think people pay as much attention to design as we do.
What metaphor makes more sense? The idea that you have a circular control wheel, the top of which is sort of in the light and a little lighter, and you move it around, or that there is a floating glob of glass on top of a circular object, and when you move it, it doesn't move much, but the camera pivots around because is the wheel moving? Because the thing is moving. Is the thing moving the wheel? Like, this is one of those examples where they're like, do liquid glass in this thing, but like it completely breaks the metaphor. Plus, it's backward. Like it would be better in classic mode, but I would argue still, as cool as that floating blob is, it doesn't make sense. Like, what is it supposed to be doing in that? It just doesn't follow. I don't think it makes sense.
Well, honestly, like what should happen, in my opinion, is video and photo are individual buttons, and when you tap them, you can choose the options. Like when you tap them right now, you get a bunch of other settings like live, timer, aspect. That should be somewhere else. That should be up at the top, where I think it is actually in there twice for some reason. You can get that. I think you should tap photo, and then you see like portrait and spatial and all that kind of stuff. I think that's actually how this should work, in my opinion.
The thing that's most frustrating about it is they have a way for you to do that. Contextual menus are all over the place in iOS and iPadOS 26. I'm not saying that's the right UI element for this, but the whole thing is strange. And I said this last week, and I want to say it again. There's nothing more worrying to me about Liquid Glass than how uneven it is distributed across Apple's own ecosystem. Yeah. And the betas have not tied that together the way that I thought they would so far. Like that, especially on the Mac, like Music, maximum Liquid Glass. Music is an app that is 400 years old. There's still iTunes code in Music. Yeah. It is ancient. But then you look at some other things that are seemingly much more modern and very little Liquid Glass. And then you have something like this, like the controls in Safari and Camera look basically the same, but they work totally different. It's the lack of attention to the broad detail that worries me. Like it doesn't seem like, I think a few things have happened. One, these teams, like the app teams, got this pretty late in the game potentially. Mm-hmm. And when it was handed off from Alan Dye and his team to the folks making reminders and notes and Safari and all these other apps, they either didn't have a toolbox built for them, like this is how you do these things, which is problematic, or, okay, we don't have a toolbox, but these are the guidelines. And these teams have been so instead these teams have been left to interpret Liquid Glass in the way they see fit. And so you end up with a real hodgepodge of things across Apple's own apps in a way that we really haven't seen in a long time. Like I'm kind of, this is for the Snell heads in the room.
Woo.
It kind of reminds me of Mac OS 10 in like the Tiger era, where you had some brushed metal and some Aqua stuff was still hanging around. And then you had like Mail, which was hit by the ugly stick in Tiger. And in Leopard, they said, we have all these window schemes. We're unifying everything. And Liquid Glass hasn't actually done that. It's actually, I think, maybe more fragmented in some ways. And the camera setting is just like the shining example of that, I think.
Well, now first, don't bring me into this. When you're calling out Tiger screenshots, those are for the Hackett heads. Let's be clear. Those are for the Hackett heads. I get what you're laying down, but that is the most Stephen Hackett thing you've said in a while, in the last 10 minutes anyway. I think there's another option, which is that they're dragging their feet. That the individual teams are like, oh boy. And can you blame them if it keeps changing?
Keep changing, yeah.
And I think of it from the perspective, we know a lot of independent app developers who are grappling with this. I will also say we know a lot of people who do like stories and books and things about this. And all of those people are looking at every beta and going, where is it going to end? Right? Like, can't decide. I was watching, who was it? Was it Marco? Somebody was on Mastodon saying, well, I can't use this control. And Steve Troughton-Smith came back and said, oh, that's just busted in this beta. Wait for the next beta. Oh, was that James Thompson? That's right, because he looked at his code. So, it's busted. And if you're inside Apple, I'm sure there's lots of like, you got to do this. This is evangelizing, all of that. I do wonder if some of those teams are like, what's the minimum we need to do? We got other stuff we need to do. It doesn't matter if we're not there. And it's like, and they're just going to change their mind. And we're going to have to undo what we did. So maybe we'll just drag our feet a little bit. Now, I'm not saying that that's healthy. I'm saying that that's actually kind of unhealthy from an organizational structure perspective. But it seems totally reasonable that you might say, let's just not. And so the result, especially on the Mac, is you have certain apps that have gotten that old time liquid glass religion, and they're like, yeah, baby, photos, it's all glass. Music, it's all glass. You can't read a thing. Great. And then there are other apps where it's just like you would never know that there's a new UI. So I it is, which is not a good look, right?
No.
It's not a good look.
No. There's something new though in Tahoe Developer Beta 5. The Macintosh HD logo that was a spinning hard drive that I think has been basically the same throughout the whole OS 10 era.
Yeah.
Updated with a solid state-ish icon. Jason, I texted you as soon as I saw this.
Yep. Thank you. This is for all the Snell heads out there.
All the Snell heads.
Yep.
It's definitely much more in line. So you can see in my blog post, I took a screenshot of Beta 4 and then Beta 5. It's much more in line with the other Beta 5 icons, so Time Machine, and I've got a couple server
Steven, this
volumes.
is so much storage.
Mm-hmm.
So much storage.
Yeah.
There's like 60 terabytes or something.
I bought a
here.
NAS. Yeah. Moved a bunch of stuff
Wait.
off. Yes.
Where's the 8 terabytes?
This is on my MacBook Air. I do not run Tahoe on my MacBook Pro. This is my
Of
beta
course.
machine.
Wait,
Just
so
got
now you
terabytes to
have-
burn.
Now you have like 50 terabytes on a network attached storage.
No, it's like 24 terabytes. That's the same NAS, but 2 volumes on the same RAID.
Okay, that's weird.
Yeah, Unify.
The 8 terabytes of stuff that's on your MacBook Pro,
Mm-hmm.
how much of it is also on the NAS?
So I hit. Okay, we're just gonna do this.
I'm
hit
asking.
the 8 terabytes on my MacBook Pro, and so I
Say
came,
that again?
I came across a treasure trove of tech history files I wanted,
How have you done this?
and I effectively filled my laptop. And so this was a while back.
Oh my god.
And so I bought this is the Unify, the UNAS Pro. It's their NAS product. So I bought one of those, filled it with 8 terabyte hard drives, and moved a ton. DevonThink is still on my laptop, but a bunch of stuff that wasn't in DevonThink is now on the NAS. And I moved like our shared family, like legacy Stephen iTunes library to the NAS. That's what that media volume is. So now I have 6 terabytes of 8 terabytes free on my MacBook Pro, which means I will not buy another 8 terabyte MacBook Pro ever again. I will buy the 4 terabyte and have half of it full.
Wow.
Or Mac Mini or Mac Studio, whatever,
Ooh.
whatever comes next. Who knows?
Wow. That's incredible.
So the new drive icon matches these other icons.
You don't want to answer my question. I have questions about the RAID. Are you raiding that new NAS? Is it
Oh,
like
yeah.
so?
Yeah,
If one of the
it's a
drives
RAID.
dies, you can
Oh,
swap
yeah.
it in and all that stuff.
I have,
Okay,
yeah.
good,
There's a drive that's set up with the like the data backup thing. I should just log into it. You know what? I'm just gonna
Oh,
log
What is
into
the
it.
RAID called? I want to put it in the show notes.
The
one that you
UNAS
bought.
Pro by Unify.
UNAS Pro. Oh, this
No,
looks like
UNAS.
something you would buy. This really looks
Yeah.
like something. It
It's
looks like
sick.
an Xserve.
It does.
That's what it looks like.
So I
Yeah.
have 7 hard drives, 7 8 terabyte hard drives in it.
Oh,
Okay. 1 storage pool. 1 is a hot spare. So it is just sitting there. If a drive dies, it can jump in.
These are spinning discs.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
That'd be like $10,000 in SSDs.
Honestly, I was hoping I'd catch you in saying no.
No, that would be incredible.
Right? Like I gotcha.
Yeah. And so I have it set up. I have it set up where OneDrive is set up with for redundancy. So like the what's the word I'm looking for? Chat room, help me out. The UI, the UNAS Pro does not use regular RAID words, which I find frustrating. But I'm using. So I've got drives that are redundant, and then I have a hot spare. So it's all backed up. Jim, please fix any of that you want to. It's all safe and sound. That
Well
was
done.
terrible. Any other questions?
Can we go back to the matter at hand?
Please.
This icon. Now I'm seeing a lot of people really mad about this one. Steven, you mad about this one?
No, I'm running RAID 10. There we go. I finally found it. I'm running
Okay.
RAID 10 with one hot spare. No, I don't love it, but it was time for a change here probably. And the old one clearly didn't match the other new ones.
Neither does this one though. I mean, why are there holes in the bottom of this one?
Why are there holes in the bottom? Why is the Apple logo on it? I think most people are mad about the perspective change.
Yes. Why? Well, I mean, the perspective hasn't changed. Well, okay. I guess it's changed, but it matches the other ones.
It matches
what I
the other
don't
ones.
like is that, to my eye, the icons on the hard drives do not tilt. They're not like tilted backwards in the way that the drives are, right? Because you can see the front face of the drives, but it looks like to my eyes, it looks like the logos are straight on. They haven't got any perspective shift on them.
Yeah. You know why? I'm going to put money down. They didn't want to perspective shift the Apple logo.
But they weren't doing it before though, to Time Machine and
yeah,
Media.
but I think they knew this one was coming, and so they didn't do any of them. Is my guess. Is that branding said no, you can't skew the Apple logo.
Okay.
Look, I don't have a problem with the spinning drive going away because nobody sees those drives anymore, except if you're updating your RAID. Steven, I just logged into my soft RAID and it told me I need to replace one of the drives. So.
Oh no, dude!
Well, it was like it's showing signs that it will fail in the next few weeks. So please replace it. I'm like, okay. Go
I
and shop
imagine
for
in
more
that
spinning
scenario,
discs.
it's
Whoopee.
like the disc is coughing. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
walking
It's
around. It's got a bad cough.
My disc. It's very sick.
Very sick.
Please help. So spinning discs, they suck, and nobody uses them anymore except for us maniacs with RAIDs. So that's fine. And somebody was complaining about this on the internet, and I pointed out that the original hard drive logo is, of course, from classic Mac OS, where it's kind of a really long. It's the hard drive you put under your Mac Classic, basically.
Sure.
It's just a long rectangle with a little dot on the front. So they could bring that back if they wanted to, but like you taking the screenshot of the external drives is the thing that really clinches it for me, that those should all be identical, right? Like there should be a silver one in that style or a dark gray one or whatever with an Apple logo on it that's Macintosh HD. I don't know why they put the ports on it, especially since your internal hard drive does not have ports.
Yeah, it's soldered to the board.
It doesn't make any. It's a chip, but if we want to pretend that it's a drive, just use the generic drive that's on the system and spiff it up a little bit to indicate that it's your Apple drive. Because then all the people are out there saying that the logistics of it, the angle and all of that doesn't make sense and it doesn't read right. And like I kind of don't care, but what bugs me more is that it doesn't look like the other icons either.
Also, I'm just going to say it. No one should have these on their desktop.
I was going to ask. I have them on. What about you, Jason?
I don't, because I know how to do Command-Shift-C to bring up computer and see my mounted disks there.
Jason, remind me, are you a desktop user, Jason? Do you save things on your desktop, right?
I do put things on my desktop organized. No, I have to say, no, it's not true. External media do mount on the desktop, but not my internal drive. Because I have a SSD that mounts and runs Carbon Copy Cloner in the afternoon every day, and so it will just appear on my desktop and then it will disappear again.
That makes sense though, because like I think it's sensible that you should be aware of the fact that is occurring when it's occurring, and that's a way to like indicate that.
But
to
yeah,
you.
my active space of these are files I'm working on right now, and not a filing system, but just an active workspace is my desktop, and I do have it. At some point, I finally decided that I couldn't live like this, and I started it sorted by name. So I keep it organized, so it's not like scattered across my desktop. It's just in the upper right and kind of down. And I mostly don't even use that. My default in Finder, when I open a new window, is the desktop in Finder. So I can see them all right there too. But that is because that's my workspace. It's just really easy to drag things out there, and it is how I live.
Can you still change the images of those drives to anything you want?
Yeah.
Then this is not a thing that anyone should be worried about.
It's just
or
the
annoyed
default.
About. Like the fact
and by
that they changed the
default,
default.
they're hidden on. So like on new installs, nothing is shown on the desktop anymore in terms of volume.
Because anyone that really cares knows how to change this,
That's right.
right? So like this just isn't a thing, but they should have changed it.
So there you go.
There's also a new airdrop icon, and I just want to bring to the group this icon. So the icon looks good. You could say reminiscent because someone came up with this general design and they're using it everywhere. So the new airdrop icon looks like a decapitated podcast icon. They just straight up took the body off and took a pizza slice out of it. And also, it's an upside down version of the Find My icon, too. And I'm not sure of the visual, like the cohesion between airdrop podcasts and Find My, that they all look essentially the same. Like, I can't think of what it is that connects those three things. I can maybe connect two at a time, but I can't connect all three of them.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, Apple has had related icons before, like the old like Core ML, Core Audio, Core Graphics, right? It was the same graphic, just in different colors. But this is not that.
Yes.
And
and all the waves represent something different, right? Like
yes.
They have reduced the metaphor so far that various metaphors have collapsed into themselves. Because AirDrop is radio waves to send stuff. Find My is like a sonar metaphor or radar metaphor because it's got it's sweeping around a sonar track.
Mm-hmm.
And podcast is sound waves emanating from a stick figure's head, which is also weird.
Yeah, because it's like, is that coming from a podcaster, or is it that the podcast waves get stronger as they get to the listener? So what is the metaphor?
It's Joe Rogan echoing out of people's brains.
Or into.
I know, and they've said all the circles are the same. It's like, well, yeah, but they're not the same. That's like the head of a person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is a great example of it. Somebody posted, I think it was Basic Apple Guy, posted the history of the preview icon, and it really made me sad.
Yeah,
because the preview icon used to be like a picture of a kid at the sea and another picture under it, and then a photographer's loop, and then they updated it, and the kid disappeared. What happened to that kid? #find the kid. And there was a different loop. But then they're like, no, we're gonna just make it kind of like this loop and a round rect that looks like a photo, and then the new one, it's just the loop, which it's like almost as bad as a floppy disk, where nobody knows what that thing is. It's completely unmoored from the metaphor that it originally had. And I just, like, the only way you know that loop means preview is because you've opened preview and seen an icon and go, oh, that must be what the preview icon is. It's completely lost all context. And I'm not a fan. In my little preview I wrote about macOS Tahoe, I'm not a fan of the shame box, right? The little gray prison that apps that are slightly outside of normal are all thrown in by Tahoe. I think I think Apple's got better ways to incentivize developers than putting their icons in a shame box. But look at the result here, which is Apple living inside its own shame box has lost all like meaning in any of its icons now. I don't know.
Yeah, it's strange. And the thing that I would, looking at these pizza slice icons, what I see is the layered glass icon composer thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that is cool.
Sure.
I generally like that look. I especially like it on Find My, like where the sonar sweep is like blue and then it kind of fades to clear. But some of these feel like you're just doing the layers because that's what you're supposed to do without a lot of thought behind them. I don't know. And it's fine when they're big. Like if you click the link, I put a screenshot in the show notes. Like they're big, it's easy to tell. But when they're in a share sheet or in the sidebar somewhere, right, or in a list of searched apps, you need more distinguishing things. And the color can help for sure, but color doesn't work for everybody, right? As we know.
Thank you.
They've just become too samey. And, Basic Apple Guy's been posting a bunch of those. And every time I see one of those, post from them. It's just Apple just continues to take more and more of the personality out. Like the poor Otto, right? Otto had his legs and arms chopped off, and
Yeah.
it went from this beautiful icon that actually the Icon Factory did, and now it's
It's
just
the
like
same guy who did my Incomparable robot did
Yeah.
Otto the Automator.
They're cousins.
I had no idea. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of, I mean, this is the thing is, I understand wanting to have a family and a concept of like, this is what icons look like on our platforms, but like it feels like it's gone so far now, and all opposition is being crushed, right? With Tahoe especially, where it's like, no, you're a few pixels out, you go in a gray box. And most of those icons look really bad because they were trying to play with the concept of the round rect, but stick little parts of it out the edges.
Yeah.
And it's like being on a roller coaster. It's like keep all the arms and legs inside the icon at all times, right?
Yeah. That's just a little disappointing.
Yeah. It's not the end of the world. It's just, it's too bad.
Yeah, it's not the first Finder logo, that's for sure. This episode of Connected is brought to you by ZocDoc. Do you remember that doctor's appointment that you were supposed to make a while ago? The one that maybe you meant to book, but you got sidetracked and have completely forgot about until you've heard me remind you. You know, that biannual cleaning at the dentist, or the overdue checkup, or that consultation with the dermatologist. Well, stop and book it today and use ZocDoc. ZocDoc makes it easy to find the right doctor right now, and it's all online. You're probably going to be able to book an appointment before the end of this ad. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, go. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality, in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty: mental health, dentistry, primary care, urgent care, and more. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, are a good fit for any medical need you may have, and who are highly rated by verified patients. Once you find the right doctor, you can see their actual appointment openings, choose a time slot that works best for you, and click to instantly book a visit. Appointments made through ZocDoc often happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking, and more often than not, you can even get same-day appointments. One of the things I love about ZocDoc are those verified patient reviews. In our current world, it's hard to believe what you're reading online. Is this review real? Is it from an actual person? Did they pay some robot to make it? With ZocDoc, they have this verified system, so you know that the feedback you're reading about a care provider is from an actual verified patient who saw them. That's really important to have that feedback. So stop putting off those doctor appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/connected to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. And if you started earlier in this ad, you're probably already done. But that's ZocDoc.com/connected, ZocDoc, ZocDoc.com/connected. Our thanks to ZocDoc for their support of the show and all of Relay. I want to touch base with iPadOS 26. Jason, you wrote your first look on 6 Colors. Federico wrote one at Mac Stories. And then Harry McCracken wrote one that is kind of contrarian a little bit to, I think, what a lot of people think. And I just kind of wanted to see where y'all were with iPadOS 26 as two people who use the iPad a lot more than me. And I can't help but think, like, in reading these pieces and kind of reflecting on the iPad, I can't help but think about the tension that has been in the iPad basically forever. Like, people burned it in the beginning because it was just a big iPhone, but that was actually its strength in the beginning. But now Apple has to serve a lot of different types of people with the iPad and with its user interface. And how does Apple serve everyone? Does iPadOS 26 get them closer to that goal? Just want to know kind of where y'all are with it.
I'll start on the serving thing, if you don't mind. They can't serve everyone, and you cannot make happy the iPad user who wants the iPad to feel more like a laptop, and also the person who wants it to just be the most simple version of multitasking that it can be. Like, there is a real tension there. And so, like, for example, for people that haven't read it, Harry McCracken's piece is essentially Harry uses he's an iPad first person, but much prefers slide over and split view as ways to work, and doesn't like the new windowing model. And it's like, I respect Harry's position, but I just think ultimately, from a multitasking perspective, the new version in iOS 26 is significantly better. And I think if Apple want to serve people working on an iPad, doing more than one thing at a time on an iPad, they need to create a better model than split view and slide over, because it didn't work, right? If split view and slide over was a big success and everybody loved it, there wouldn't be a video there wouldn't be videos and articles every year from people saying iPadOS just ain't it. And those videos are still happening, but I think they're still much more, they are much more positive about iPadOS 26 than iPadOS 17 or whatever. Because the system is just far superior in my mind. And like, you can still do the 2-app split view. It works really well. You can have apps that just, you've got 2 apps next to each other. If they're touching, you get the little resizable thing in between them. Yes, you can't activate apps from slide over, but you can still have little windows. Like, it's just a new thing to learn, or you can just not do any of it and just use the single app experience. I understand why people will miss it, but I just think this is absolutely a better overall system than what we've been working with all this time. And I think all this time in, it is absolutely the right call to burn it down, start over, because it hasn't worked in the long term. It just hasn't.
Yeah, I linked to Harry's piece because I don't agree with it either, but I think somebody who uses the iPad as much as he does and has had such a history with, writing about computer stuff, I think you got to listen to what he's saying. I do agree that some of it is, it worked fine for me, so why change it? And I think when they threw the Stage Manager and Split View and Slide Over out and brought in this new thing, I think the assumption at Apple was this is better, so everybody will like it. And I do think it's better, and I do like it. And so it makes me wonder, and honestly, I hear about Slide Over all the time, because I think Apple viewed Slide Over as this really kind of desperate, not quite multitasking thing that they did early on, and that they can throw it away now. And what I'm hearing is that people, even in modern iPad contexts, like it because they like the idea of having like quick access to an app that doesn't show up on the screen but lives on the side. And the truth is, they could implement something like that. I mean, it's actually not that different from a picture-in-picture window that you can drag off the edge. And there's a little thing over there, a little tab on the side that says, hey, there's a thing over here with an arrow, and like tap to bring it back out. Like, maybe that is a thing that they should add to fulfill the need that I hear being expressed by people who like Slide Over. The idea that you could put an app off to the side and it's still open, whatever that means, but it's still there. And then for quick access, it would just kind of like slide in or pop over your existing windows. You'd use it and then you dismiss it back to the side and it's just kind of docked over there. I think they could probably work something out. That is what I'm hearing people are missing here. And what you get by having this windowing mode that I think was a key factor in Apple deciding to do it this way is one of the biggest problems with iPad use by novices is that it was so easy to accidentally get something into Slide Over or Split View. And then how many people did I hear from was like, how do I get out of this? Right? Because they didn't go in it on purpose. They dragged something somewhere and they did something they didn't know what they were doing. And then all of a sudden they're in Slide Over or Split View and they don't know how they got there. And so to make it just like a switch and control center and you turn it off and everything goes away, I think is like a huge support win for them. Mm-hmm. But I totally hear what people are saying about Slide Over, and like the picture-in-picture window is already there, right? I feel like that is kind of what they want is, can I take a window and say, just go over there and I'll bring you back when I need you, because I can see that as a use case, right? It's actually not that bad. The idea of like, well, I just got a little app over here in the corner and I tap and there it is, and I do a thing, and then boop, I send it back away. That seems reasonable to me. So it may just be that they didn't understand that use case and figured they were saving everybody so much by building this new thing that they could throw those away. And they made an affordance for split view, and they didn't make one for slide over. And I don't think you can just drag a window, kind of make it small and kind of put it off on the side is quite what they're looking for. I don't know.
So I do. It's not actually dissimilar from the way that slide over worked a lot of the time, where you would slide a window away and it would have that little tab that kind of stuck around on the edge of the screen.
Exactly.
I will say as well, though, like if you just want to have a bunch of little apps that are just there, Stage Manager on the iPad, on iPadOS 26 is great. And they're just over on the side. You tap them and they'll just pop up, and then you can tap and they'll go back again. Like the combo, I would just say it, like try it. If you just try it, everybody needs to try it. Like, forget about what Stage Manager was. Like, if you use iPadOS 26 and you like the window management, just give Stage Manager a go too. You can combine the two of them, and it's a great time. Like, it works fantastically. This is the way it always should have been, because you end up with like these little workspaces that have a couple of different apps on them and stuff. Like, it's worth a go. But yeah, I agree. Like, there could be an interesting way to do it, but I do think that they've made the right set of choices in rethinking this whole thing. I think that, like, if you think about it, like really actually think about it, this is not the way that you would do it from scratch again. Like, you do this split view and slide over when it's all you can do, right? Like, when they came around to doing this version of iPadOS where it had these apps or whatever, this was just the only way they could get it done, would be my expectation. That, like, you could only ever have a couple of things open at a time, and then maybe you could go into an iPhone size view. But now we're in a world where these things can be essentially fully resized on their own, because that's just the way that iPad app design works now. This is absolutely the way to do it. Like, it's superior in my eyes, superior in every way. And the ways in which it's like odd or you might miss something, you absolutely can find a way around it. It's a better system, I think. It's like, we don't ask for slide over on a Mac, like no one's asking for that. And I think that there are good reasons for it. Like, I think they found the perfect mix. And I love my little computer that I use at home all the time. My 11-inch iPad Pro with the Magic Keyboard is like just perfect. I think it's fantastic. I'm so back in on the iPad again as a work tool. It's brilliant. I think they've just crushed it.
I agree. I think it's great. And I do think that if they could go back to the start, they would just do this. I think that what happened is Apple, it was the legacy of the iPhone, right? They were making a big iPhone.
Yeah.
And there are so many things. Anybody who's tried to use the iPad over the last decade has realized, like, there's so many assumptions they made for the iPhone in the early days that made sense for the iPhone. And then you scale it to an iPad, especially like an iPad Pro. It's been, we're coming up 10 years of the iPad Pro, I believe. I think it was introduced in November of 15. And then all those iPhone decisions don't make sense, but that was the foundation. And up until a few years ago, it was even still just iOS running on an iPad, right? And so I do think that will ultimately benefit them if they make a folding phone, right? Because the folding phone can pick up all the lessons that they've learned. But the iPad itself, and the legacy of iOS, and the idea that they were kind of building a next generation platform that would be a replacement for computers like the Mac, I think they got caught up in all of that and of like, let's just not do it. And they had to go through that process and learn their lessons and all of that. And they've come out the other side. So if you took them back in time now, they wouldn't do it that way. They would just say, let's just implement Mac style windowing and be done with it and make it a mode. And then why not? But instead they've got to kind of, they had to process it, and they have to deal with the legacy of a foundation of iOS that made a lot of assumptions. Like, I mean, the fact that you still, other than bugs, every now and then somebody's like, oh, I got to play sound and video at the same time. That's a bug. It isn't actually supposed to happen. But that's a great example of, like, on the Mac, you can play a video and you can have audio going and it all just kind of works. And on the iPad, like if a video plays in your social media app while you're watching video, something is going to happen that's bad because it can't do two things at once.
Yeah, it's I don't envy them trying to balance all of that. And I think some people look at this at the toggle, right, of like, do I want Mac multitasking or do I want one app at a time as a failure of design or like lack of bravery in their decision. But I think the reality is they are trying to meet the needs of as many people as they can.
I think the 2 modes is the perfect solution, honestly. Like, it literally is, do you want this or not? And if not, you don't get it. Like, because for Harry, I have sympathy. For the people who are like, I just use my iPad in single window mode, so all that multitasking is stupid, I have no sympathy for them, because don't use it. It's not every feature is for you. That's okay. But for those of us it's so much better now. And I think having it be a switch, as simple as that is, and it's like, what mode do you want? And I switch back and forth all the time between the 2 modes. But like, if you don't care about it, don't ever use that feature, and it's not going to mess up the iPad. And I think that's why it's super important that Apple does it this way, because they know a huge chunk of the iPad audience doesn't care.
Yep.
And so let them just use it the way they've used it and not ever worry about it. And that was the problem with accidental gestures turning things into split view and slide over, was those people did not want to see those things, and now they will never see them.
We did have a question about the iPad from listener Albert, not the cat. My cat's name is Albert.
Yeah. Now your cat's name is Albert.
No, it was before. Yes. It was it was Piper, and then
Back when you
Original.
misgendered the cat, but that's a different story.
yeah. It's easy to do with kittens, it turns out.
Mm.
Albert, not the cat, wrote in, I am planning on updating my 2017 12.9-inch iPad Pro later this year. In your expert opinions, what do you think will be the biggest 3 to 5 things I will notice most?
Let me start out by saying I wished I was Albert.
The cat?
The cat. I wished that I used a piece of technology frequently, which I'm assuming Albert does, where I could make such a shift.
Yeah.
The 2017 12.9-inch iPad Pro has Touch ID.
Yeah.
The Touch ID home button,
Yeah, man.
right? To put that into like a little bit into perspective, right? I just want so people are like, because I did some Googling today to check that one, because I'd forgotten kind of about this product. So I was thinking about like what would you get? Like, it is running an A10X processor. That's what we got going on in this stuff, right? You're using a smart keyboard.
Yeah.
At best,
the
if
X
you're
is for
using a
extra
keyboard.
The
X is for
this is the one that was
extra.
announced at WWDC with the 10.5 inch,
10.5.
which was
Good memory.
short-lived.
Yeah, good times. That was fun because we were all kind of watching Federico use that.
That's right.
WWDC,
Yeah.
taking pictures of it at coffee shops and stuff because he got reviewing it. But that was really fun. I remember there was a moment when he would just locked himself in another room. Do you remember that? Like, because we had our hotel room had like a living area and a sleeping area because me and Federico were
It's
rooming
the
together.
year you stole his heart rate monitor.
Right.
That's the year that a heart rate monitor got lost, where Federico lost his heart rate monitor. That's what happened. And it went in somebody's bag. And he locked himself in a room for a couple of hours to write a review of it. It was very funny. So here's what I think you're going to benefit from with this. Screen quality. You're going to be going to an OLED display. And the OLED displays are so good. Like, this is so good. And it has ProMotion, right? Thinness and lightness.
That's
going to be massive. Like, massive. I didn't actually do any comparisons, but I'll do those in a minute to kind of like see what the weight difference is, especially. Face ID, right? You're going to get Face ID, which is great on an iPad, and a Magic Keyboard. So you'll be able to use the Magic Keyboard and trackpad. I don't know if you're using, maybe you'll be using like an external trackpad, but you can use a Magic Keyboard and trackpad. Albert, you're going to have a great time. I really recommend it. I think you're going to love it. Like, this is going to be fantastic. You know what? You might even want to look at the iPad Air.
I was going to say, you won't get the OLED and you won't get the super thinness, but if you look at that, one of the things that's changed is that iPad Pros cost way more than they used to.
Yeah.
So the iPad Air would be not only a huge upgrade, but would actually still be pretty much in line with what you got on the iPad Pro back in the day.
But what I'll say, though, treat yourself if you want to treat yourself, right? You've been waiting a long time.
For sure. If you're going to use this for another 8 years, I would probably say buy the iPad Pro. Just go that way. But you should look at the Air because it does a lot. It does a lot more than you are already doing. It just is cheaper and not quite as far as the Pro is.
So it's going from 677 grams to 579 grams is that's the weight difference. And we're going from the thickness of, I was going to say 220 millimeters. That's the wrong. That's wrong. We're going from 6.9 millimeters to
5.1.
5.1. That's going to feel fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you're going to have a great time. And these iPads are just so good now.
They are.
But yeah, take a look at the Air. But like, if you want the Pro, get yourself a Pro. You're going to have a wonderful time.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
But both are a really nice update. I put the compare iPad models link in the show notes. Second gen.
Oh, I didn't even think
12.9
about
inch.
the fact that I could do that. I was digging through Wikipedia articles to get the old
And
get the old one.
You could compare like the iPad Air 2 to this thing. I mean, the list goes way back. Both would be great.
This is really funny to look at, where it's like all the dashes, where it's like this feature just didn't exist.
Yeah.
like they don't bother with like how many cores are in the CPUs. They just didn't bother telling you that information before.
Yeah.
Just in case you wanted to know, the 12.9-inch second generation iPad Pro does not run Apple Intelligence.
Oh no.
No. Lightning connector. Oh my word.
Lightning connector.
Yeah.
Lightning connector.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi 6E. Apple Pencil Pro.
Supports the new pencil, which is
Yep.
the magnetic one, which is really great. You have a good time with that.
And the Magic Keyboard.
Magic Keyboard. Yeah.
Yep, with trackpad. Oh, fantastic. Good times. Let us know, Albert. I want to know. If you do upgrade, I want to know what you think about it. Right back in, let us know.
Yep. Keep us posted. And if you want to stay posted, keep yourself posted.
Oh.
You can do that. You can find all of us online. Jason. I got
Boom,
there.
Posted.
I got there.
It's like a trespassing sign. Posted.
Posted.
No trespassing.
If you want to stay posted, you can do that.
Hey, kids, keep
Incredible.
it posted to the Connected podcast. You can
do
find
that.
Jason at sixcolors.com, and
That's
he
right.
podcasts here on Relay Upgrade every Monday. I never miss an episode. It's so good.
podcast.
And some
Thank
shows
you.
over at The Incomparable. Jason's everywhere. And
yeah.
Mac Break
also,
Weekly.
tune in later this week. We should have Downstream episode 100.
Oh,
Post
wow.
it.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Keep yourself posted.
Keep yourself posted.
Keep posted. Yeah. Be posted, and then you'll be posted.
Mike hosts many shows here on Relay. You can check out his work at Cortex Brand, and he blogs at theenthusiast.net. You can find my writing over at 512pixels.net, and I co-host Mac Power Users here on Relay each and every Sunday. If you want to send feedback or follow-up, there's a link in the show notes. We'd love to hear from you, our dear listeners. And if you love Connected and want to hear even more of it, join Connected Pro, which is a longer ad-free version of the show that we do each and every week. It's just $7 a month. Jason, thank you for joining us this week.
I love being on Connected. Thank you for having me.
And now you get some podcast listening time back this week, which is always weird.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because I had some driving and travel to do, so I'm kind of at zero of podcasts, and now I'm not going to get this one. Sorry, next time, next week.
I'd like to thank our sponsors this week, Squarespace and ZocDoc, for the support of the show. And until next week, say goodbye.
Arrivederci.
What?
We're all waiting. Cheerio. Well, I mean, I didn't go because I go second, but no
Yeah.
one was there to go first. So thank you,
Thank you.
Jason. For doing that.
Bye, y'all.